Ooh, that's a fish there, boys. That's a fish, dude. Stay down, big boy. Man. Caught this one on the Texas rig. Got him hooked right in the side of the mouth. That's a nice bass. Let's get him back. Hey guys, this is Jordan with Big Bite Baits. This is going to be the first video in a series for beginners for how to start fishing. On this video, we're going to teach you the basic gear and bait selections to start fishing for the first time. What we want to do is equip you to go to your local tackle shop and pick out exactly what you need just to start fishing for the first time. This is great for novices, beginners, kids, whoever wants to learn. So let's go to the tackle shop and pick out what we need. All right, we're at the Gator Stop Tackle Shop in Eufaula, Alabama. The first thing I want to show you guys here is 3 different rod and reel types. So the first one, let me grab one for you here, is going to be a spincast combo. So that's like your classic Zebco or that type of reel, you know, $20 range, really great for beginners or kids. So it's got the push button for your thumb, it's got a closed face, so it's really easy to use, it doesn't really get tangled up very much, and this is great for kids or total beginners if you've never really fished. But on the other end of the spectrum, let me grab one for you here, is going to be a baitcast combo. So that one has an open spool. It's really good, especially once you practice with it. It's a lot easier to cast. It's fast, it's quick. It's better for a lot of, especially bass fishing techniques, but it's not really perfect for beginners because it takes a lot of practice. You have to break with the line with your thumb, all that good stuff. So this is something we'll deal with later on, but I wanted to show you what a baitcast combo looks like. This is more in the, like the $60 to $70+ range, but a good one for right in between those two, I will show you next, is a spinning combo. So this one right here happens to be about in the $40 range. It's right in the middle between those two. It has an open face, and rather than the push button for your thumb, you flip open the bail. I'll show you all that later on, but this is good right in between. So we're gonna start with a spinning combo today, but if you're really new to it, let's go with spincast. Later on, if you're more advanced and practice a lot, you can go with baitcast. So the 2 types of baits are live bait and artificial bait. We wanna start with live bait first. So let me show you a couple examples. Right here I have some crickets, and right here I have some live worms. So we got these at the tackle shop. You can find these at basically any local tackle shop. And the advantage of starting out with these is especially for kids and novices. They're a lot of fun to play with, like these live crickets here. And it's really easy to catch fish on them. So you can go out, you can throw live worms like these guys, and you can catch fish right away. Everyone remembers their first fish catch story, right? So you wanna get the kids and novices out there, let them catch fish right away. That way they're hooked on fishing. And so that's really the main advantage of starting with live bait. But, you know, if you want to do something else, so like these guys are kind of gross, right? At the end of the day. So if you want to do an alternative, you can try artificial baits, which we'll talk about next.
If you've just started fishing and want more information about how to learn the basics, head on over to bigbitebaits.com/basics to see more videos like this one and learn even more about the products we recommend you use when you're starting out. bigbitebaits.com/basics.
All right, now that we got everything we need from the local tackle shop, we've come out to a local farm pond. And guys, if you ask around, try to get access to, whether it's a farm pond, a neighborhood pond, just try to get access to some body of water just to start fishing on. Now, whenever we were at the tackle shop earlier, I went and picked out 2 bags of baits to start with. What I want to start with is a stick bait. So what I'm going to do is get a Big Bite 5-inch trick stick in green pumpkin. Really, a lot of different colors work, but this is a great to start with. The 5-inch size is really good for all sizes of bass, and green pumpkin is a great go-to color in lots of different types of water. The next thing I'm going to grab is a lizard, because it has a little bit more action and it's great to use on the bottom. Let's see, let me start with a watermelon red. Right here is a Big Bite 6-inch Pro Lizard. You can see the flakes in it there. It's a little bit different color, a little bit brighter with the flakes, and it just gives the bass a little bit different look. Alright, you can't catch fish without hooks, so we're in the hook section now. And we're going to try to figure out what we want. So hooks obviously come in a lot of different shapes and sizes and weights and all that good stuff. But for today's purposes, for my live bait, am going to find a size 4 Aberdeen hook. These are really great for panfish and smaller fish because the long shank of the Aberdeen makes it easier to unhook a fish. And the size 4 is a good size for worms and crickets like we're using today. Now next, for the artificial baits, we're going to try to find a 4/0 offset shank round bend worm hook. Now these hooks come in sizes 1/0 and up. So the 4/0 stands for 4/0. And so that's the size you want to look for a 5 to 6 inch plastic worm. So obviously weights come in a lot of different shapes and sizes, just like hooks do. But what we're looking for today is a lead split shot and a lead bullet weight. So for the split shots, we're going to go with the size 4 right here. This will be a good size to add a little bit of weight to the worms and crickets to get them to cast out farther and stay down in the water. And then for the lead bullet weights for the artificial baits, we're going to go with a, let's see, how about a 1/4 ounce? This is a good all-around weight for, a shallower water pond like we're going to, just a few feet deep. Obviously, if you wanted to go deeper or shallower, you could choose a different size weight to go with it. The last thing I need is a cork or a bobber. So I'm going to grab, just a medium-sized one right here. This is going to be perfect for those crickets and worms. Alright guys, I'm going to show you real quick how to tie a basic Texas rig. All a Texas rig is you take your line, a sliding weight, tie it onto your hook, and then rig your plastic on there nice and straight. That way you can fish weedless and start catching fish. So step 1 for a Texas rig is to take your line and slide your bullet weight on. Stick your line through the hole on the top, pop it through and pull it, and just slide your weight out of the way for now. Now in this example I'm using a heavy braided line just so you can see it easier. You can use whatever monofilament line that came with your rod. But for this demonstration I'm going to tie a palomar knot now to my hook. If you guys want to search how to tie beginner knots, something like that, if you want more in-depth detail on this. But for now I'm just going to real quick do a palomar knot. So that requires you doubling the line. So see, I passed it through my eye once. I'm going to pass it back through itself. And I'm going to pull myself a good bit of slack here so we can work with it. You'll see why in just a second. So now that my line is doubled up, like this, I'm going to tie an overhand knot with the doubled portion. But here's the thing with a palomar. So see how I'm tightening it up, but I left this big loop out here from that slack from earlier. Now I want my loop to go over my hook, like that. And now, with all this, I can take my tag end, pull all that slack line out, make sure I grab both ends, make sure it's nice and tight. So that's a really strong knot. And once you practice it a couple times, it's really easy to tie too. I know it looks complicated for now, but again, just look up knot tying tutorials and practice a few times before you go out. That way you'll be efficient. So now just cut off my tag end, and now let me grab my weight that we slid out of the way, slide it back up. That's what a Texas rig looks like. So your weight slides, you have a nice strong knot to your hook. Now we can rig our plastics. So let's see, let's try the lizard for this one. Let me grab this lizard. Again, just slide the weight out of the way. So in order to Texas rig the bait onto the hook, once you have it all rigged up, you take the lizard and pop your hook through the top. But then once you get to about here, see where the hook bends right here? I want to pop the hook through nice and straight. See how I'm right in the middle of the lizard with this? I want to pop that through and push it all the way up the hook. So I'll push it all the way up to where this bend is. See where this 90-degree bend is? This is nice and straight. And now for this part, we're going to want to put the hook back through the bait. So in order to mark where that's going to go, I'm just going to line it up like this. And so I can see, okay, it's going to line up right here on the bait. So I'll hold it with my fingers here to mark it. And now let me show you from this angle. I'll take where I marked with my fingers and go straight through the middle of the bait like this. And pop it through. So see, now we have our bait nice and straight. But in order to make it weedless, what we want to do is take this part of the hook point and put it back in the bait just very slightly, like that. So now once I cinch everything up, let me grab my weight again. You have a nicely rigged plastic. So this weight is going to slide up and down, and this bait is going to follow behind it. And it's nice and weedless. See, the hook point is in the plastic. That way you can start fishing without getting snagged too much, and it's a great starter rig. Lay down, big boy. Yeah. Now that you know how to rig a basic Texas rig, I want to show you exactly how to fish it. In the next video, I'll give you some tips for presenting your lure that will help you catch fish like this one. Thanks for watching, and please let us know what you think how we can improve these videos, and what topics you'd like us to cover in the future.